going to share. Okay. So
Beautiful.
I'm going to put like the group chat thing here on the side so you can see it as well.
Nice.
Can everyone hear me that's joining? And go ahead and tell me who you are, where you're from. Just write it in the group chat. Yes, we can hear.
Here they go.
Hello, all. Tell me where you are from. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. This is amazing. I mean, this is really amazing. I'm on my phone, but next time I'll definitely do it from a computer.
I can see you super clear.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Just so I can type in the live chat like you did, much easier and so forth.
It's so nice. This is so easy. And then you can see how people can ask questions. See how there's got like a little question thing. And I can also bring them all up on the side here. So it brings them up to the top. And then also if somebody's unmuted for some reason, it'll actually create like a box around them so I can find them easily, right? To mute them again. It's really nice. Did I lose you there, Billy?
I'm here. I got you. Okay. Yeah. This is great.
All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and record this.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. We are now recording. I'm going to put you on large. There we go. Put me on large. There we go.
Nice.
All right. So people are just like piling into this right now. And get more and more people on this. Well, Billy, such a pleasure to see you, my friend. I'm super excited about what's going on and, what we got coming up as well for this event in Los Angeles, right when I get back from Peru.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad you'll be back right on time. I'm glad it didn't overlap because this is a huge event.
I got so scared. I called Billy last night and I was telling him about, the Orion Live we did yesterday with Matthias, and it was like already late at night for him. And so he was just in a dark room and, but I could see his teeth. It was pretty good. Like you're
I've got the really white teeth, man. I got the Hollywood smile.
Yeah, you do.
It took me a long time to get this smile.
Yeah.
My teeth were so spaced out and crooked and chipped up and everything else. And, I wore braces for years as an adult, as a grown man, wore braces in my 40s and everything else. And I finally got to the point where I'm at now, man. So yeah, I'm very grateful for my smile now. It was crazy before. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me what you got going on. You just got back from Egypt.
Just got back from Egypt. It was a great tour. 95 incredible souls came on the tour. Everyone had a great time. At any given point during the tour, you never knew when someone was going to just break down and be full of emotion, and tear up and cry. Man, women, didn't really matter age. At one point, everyone shed a tear of just gratitude, gratitude to be there, to experience it in the way that we were able to allow them to experience it, see what they saw, and they realized that they had a very special experience with us, that it wasn't the normal type of a tour, that it was very special. So it was really great to be a part of it. It's one of the greatest tours I've ever done in terms of all the tours I've done so far. Happy to be back though, and back in the saddle, getting ready for Manifest Destiny 2025.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Tell everybody what we got planned for this.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible in-person all-day workshop, pretty much 9 to 5, It's going to be in an incredible place that I was able to manifest. It's at the Carson Center in Carson, California, on Carson Street, hosted by Billy Carson, the Force for Forbidden Knowledge. And of course, we have Robert Edward Grant speaking there. He's going to bring his incredible manifesting wisdom. And we have Mike Rashid as well. So we have really three, in my opinion, three great thought leaders and manifestors. Obviously, Rob, you're a master at manifesting. Your life is the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, and you live what you preach, and it's showing in the way that you live and how you express yourself, and in the things that you're getting involved in. And so there's a lot of wisdom and guidance there for people to gain from seeing this in person. Sometimes doing it virtually, it's okay. But to be there and feel the energy, to interact directly with the audience, to meet and greet and sign books and everything else, the in-person definitely adds a lot of value. And I used to do these workshops virtually.
I will have my books with me this time because it's only a drive.
Yeah.
I'd never have books whenever I go to places because I have to get on an airplane. I'm like, oh, I just can't be bothered. It's like, that's just too hard. So I'm like, oh, just go get it on Amazon. But I will have books this time.
Yeah.
If you want to get like a signed book or something, you definitely can. Or bring your books that you already bought as well if you end up coming to this event in LA on November 8th. And I'll be happy to sign your books as well and write a personal note in there to you. But I'm super excited for this event because our colleague and friend, Mike Rashid, who I actually introduced you guys together and a few years back when Mike had me on his podcast. And I thought, man, you guys would be friends. And sure enough, I was right. And, he's another guy who's really focused on manifestation. He's got his own unique way of getting to things. And he wrote this incredible book, about divine quintessence, which I think everybody should have a look at that book too. I really, really am so happy that the universe kind of brought us together in the way that it did. And, I really met you because you sent me a book. Like I didn't ask for, you were just kind enough to send me a book of emerald tablets, right?
Yeah.
And what you wrote about that, and I remember it was probably like 2019. I think it was 2019. It was before COVID.
2019.
And I didn't even have any.
Right.
I practically didn't have any followers yet, and you had a ton already. And I was like, why is this guy sending me this? It was very nice of you to do that. But I guess you must have known that somehow, in the future, our paths would cross.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just, we just kind of kindred spirits, and we had struck up some great conversations, obviously, and eventually, I remember you even got sick. I think you got COVID, is what it was. You ended up getting COVID.
I had COVID. I was right before the big conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter that week. Remember that one in 2020 that was kind of like a major astrological and astronomical kind of convergence that was happening then, and which represented the anima and animus and shadow consciousness and everything. And I was like completely out for 7 days, even though I never really got super sick. It was just weird being in quarantine. And here I was in my house, I was in another wing of the house and I couldn't really see my kids or anything. It was really, really hard. But you were like the guy who literally texted me every day, and nobody else did. I mean, honestly, nobody else did, not even my parents. So.
I was checking on you, man. For some reason, I just felt connected to you. I wanted to check on you. We hardly really knew each other that deeply, but I just felt a particular connection to you, and I just was, you would just pop on my mind. I would just be like, I wonder if Robert's okay. Let me just check on him, see if he's, how he's doing. And so I just naturally, was checking on you, man, to see how you were feeling, how you were doing. And I know eventually we ended up doing a couple of workshops together, which did very well. During COVID. And we've been good friends ever since, man. And we've done some things together. We've traveled together, and I just had a chance to really witness your abilities to manifest your entrepreneurial prowess, the ability you have to generate and create and build wealth and get on the wealth frequencies. What you really do is you're a master at getting on the frequency of wealth. Instead of trying and chasing wealth, you get on the frequency of it And that's a very unique skill that people need to learn. And I recognize that. And the first person I thought of when I thought about the Manifest Destiny in-person event, since hasn't been done since COVID, was to get you involved and have you show up, man, and bring this incredible knowledge that you have in that field.
Well, I think one of the books that you wrote that I really resonated with also was Woke Don't Mean Broke. And I think that's such a powerful thing, because so many people that are going through the spiritual path just struggle so much with, like, what they do with their career and being able to attract abundance into their life. And actually, because it's like you're going down a path. I know what it was like for me, right? And I definitely had my period of time where I had some challenges too, because like everything that I knew was turning upside down. Here I was, a big pharma CEO, and then I had to kind of transition. And now, what, 8 years later, I'm more known for my work in math and spirituality than I am for anything I ever did as a CEO of big pharma. And it's kind of interesting, because I thought, well, surely there can't be a job for me just to kind of like be on this spiritual path, and that people would be interested in, and when I started posting stuff on social media, I didn't think it was going to be popular. I had no idea it was going to be popular. I just started posting geometry. If you remember my early posts, it was just my hand-drawn geometry that was just really my notebooks on physics and math. And now it's like, I've gotten so much information, like literally as I've gone on this path, and I found so many new correspondences and everything. I'm literally every day, and I post papers. Like I wrote another paper last night, and I just posted it. But the thing is that I never thought that I was going to get followed for this, and I never thought there would be interest to come with me on trips to go, on this exploration. So as I became more and more authentic and got in the frequency of my authenticity, that's when I was able to more easily jump into the frequency of abundance related to that. So the paradox is, you tend to think, we tend to live in a world where we think everything has to be hard. We tend to live in a world where we think everything has to be kind of like, if you're going to earn money for something, it's got to be for some suffering that you have to basically do, right? And so we create this kind of autonomic response and habitual learning around that. But actually, the truth is, the more in alignment you are with your authentic self and your remembrance spiritually, the more abundance you will automatically attract. So that tells you that if you're not fully attracting abundance, then you have not yet, you may be on your spiritual path, absolutely, but you have not yet fully embodied where your spiritual path is taking you. Because part of the spiritual path will inevitably take you to an existence of abundance. When you realize that the outer world is just a reflection or a projection of your inner world, then you start realizing, I just have to rectify the things inside of me. If I don't like, my level of abundance that I'm attracting, what's my block? What is the thing that's blocking me, and why did I choose this? What is it that I wanted to learn from my higher self? Right. And I don't know, what's your feeling on this?
No, I think you hit it right on the head. We are literally the reflection. What's happening on the outside of us is a reflection on the inside of us. And so, it's that as within, so without. And we have to understand that if we're looking around and everything is in chaos around us, and everything is messy and junky, and our dishes aren't done and they're piled up in the sink, our beds aren't made up, and our office desk is just piled up with junk and it's disorganized, that's only a reflection of what's happening on the inside of you. It's your chaos on the inside manifesting on the outside. We know that entropy permeates the entire universe. Everything moves from an ordered state to a disordered state. And so when you get to the understanding that the entropy is moving through you from on the spiritual aspect as well, not just on the physical side, well, then you can begin to readjust, because entropy is a cycle. So you take it and you reset the cycle, you reorganize. But to do that, the first thing you gotta do is clean up now what's been manifested on the outside. Organization, cleaning that up, reorganizing the things around you on the outside, bring yourself back into brain heart coherence, bring yourself back to the beginning before entropy took over. And now what's happening and manifesting on the inside will then stay consistent manifesting on the outside, so that you won't get back into disorder and disarray, that you create strong, powerful, healthy rituals and get rid of the negative, dark rituals, the ones that are continuously keeping you in a mind of scarcity and lack. And you move into that abundance frequency because you're organized, you're clean, you're pure, your spirit is clear, your mind and your body have faith to process and bandwidth to process things going on around you, where before you were just full of chaos, full of entropy. And now when you clean that out and organize and reorganize the mind into conscious thoughts, all of a sudden things just flow to you effortlessly.
What do you think? I mean, I know you've been at this for a long time, and you're way older than everybody knows. You're like, Dracula. You're like Black Dracula. And like literally, you're like the dude, man. I think you're like 300 years old. Just nobody's talking about it. And so but black don't crack. Also, I do know that's true. But the thing is that you've been seeing people, and you've lived in a life. You didn't grow up in a life of ease at all. I mean, I know your story. So you've basically brought yourself up by your own sweat of your own brow, and nobody else's work. And what are the most common traps that people get stuck into, whether spiritual path or not, that basically keep them in this recycling tread of lack, of abundance and scarcity?
Well, some of the biggest traps that people get caught up in, number one, is believing in what they see as their current lifestyle, their current situation, the current perspective. Believe what they've been fed, what they've been forced, what has been forced on them, what they were born into is their reality. No, that's just a temporal situation. That's not your actual reality. That's the reality that you've been put into, placed into, and what has been forced upon you. And most people will acquiesce or give into that situation and believe this is all there is. I saw in my hood growing up, I would go back every 4 years or so to go visit where I grew up to just remind myself, never get back to this. And I would see some of the people from back in the day. Not many are left, but there are a few. And some of them stayed there and raised their next family there. Now, like myself, I have grandchildren. They have grandchildren growing up in that same environment. So they didn't draw a line in the sand and break the generational curse. They just kept the curse going because they acquiesced and believed this is all there is. This is the best that they can have. They never believed that there was more for them and something better for them on the outside. One of the biggest traps people fall into is not understanding that they can break free from this box that their generations before them have put them in, and that abundance is truly and really their birthright. They just have been tricked into believing that scarcity is their birthright. And so they believe in this scarcity. They believe in this scarcity mindset, and they do everything they can to stay within that box of this lack of abundance mind. The trick is to realize you can break free. You can reprogram your subconscious and reprogram these self-limiting beliefs. And you can stop creating these situations by allowing ants to creep in, these automatic negative thoughts, and separate yourself from your thoughts and realize that you are the observer of the thoughts. Yeah.
That's a good.
Oh, yeah. Those were truths and the ants, man. They get in there.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's basically
automatic negative thoughts.
Not even. It's like autonomic, like it's not even conscious. Like it happens at such an unconscious level. And to that point, actually, I just put a poll in, and I'd like everyone to go and answer this if you could. Do you believe that you have any self-limiting narratives? Sorry for misspelling that, but that determine the level of abundance that you can attract. So let's see what everybody says here.
That's interesting.
So far, it's like, 83% believe that they've got some limiting thoughts and beliefs. And I fundamentally believe that, a lot of people get stuck in the spiritual world too, thinking that, oh, wait, this world is a trap. We're all here by the archons. We're here under someone else's thumb or control. And until you finally can embrace the notion that you created this all for a reason, and that you don't experience the world as it is, you experience it as you are, and that the only real obstacles in life are your own belief systems and the imaginary obstacles that you come up with, and that actually your consciousness can only expand to the cage of the volume of your own belief systems. Until you finally realize
Right.
you're not a victim, you'll always become the victim you believed you to be yourself to be. And then all that does is beget more and more victimhood. So if you want to break out of that, if you don't want to break out of that, because there are a lot of people that are very comfortable in that. But if you do want to break out of that, then you got to start by changing the ants, which are the automatic or autonomic negative thoughts, because that's what holds you back from your greatest abundance and success.
Yeah, that's an absolute fact. And, once you get over that hump and bring the awareness that you have been a victim of you've allowed yourself to think that you're a victim of your own self-limiting beliefs. And when you bring awareness that you've been taking this victim mindset, then you go, oh, wait a minute. I'm putting myself in this situation. I'm acquiescing to this victimhood. Once you realize that, the awareness is the first part of healing and rising up. Now you can drop that victim mindset. You can get rid of the PTSD and you can move into something called PTG, post-traumatic growth. So now you're moving in a different direction. You're taking the traumas, you're taking the past events, you're taking the past situations, and you're growing from them instead of becoming a victim and a slave to them. You're shifting the energy, you're alchemizing those past situations, and now you're taking those things and you're catapulting off of that to a higher level, because now you're realizing those things were there for you to learn, to grow, to become better, to process, to learn how to do trauma work and shadow work on yourself, and to now also learn from those past mistakes and situations to become a better person and find out how you can become a solutions provider. And once you take the mindset of a solutions provider, you move from being a worrier to being a warrior, and then your life is going to change.
Wow. Okay. So say that again. If you can do what again to move from worrier to warrior? I really like.
Yeah. If you realize that, you become a solutions provider, providing solutions to problems instead of crying about problems. Because a lot of people cry about problems 24/7. They just keep crying and whining. They become worriers. They worry about everything. But when you begin to realize that your mission here is to learn from the past and bring solutions to those problems, then you go from being a worrier, crying a crybaby, you move from a worrying stage into a warrior. You become a warrior now, a warrior in the spirit, because now you're battling and you're going against these solutions. I mean, you're going against these problems with solutions that can solve them and fix them, not only for you, but for many others.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So let me ask another question to the group here and do another poll. So what do you believe are your most powerful negative beliefs? And
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people have negative beliefs about money.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest things I see in the quote unquote conscious community. People have been programmed to think that the statements that they've been programmed are money is the root of evil, right? It's not the root of evil. Actually, the biblical text says the love of money is the root of all evil. So they're talking about obsession with materialistic things, utilizing money and chasing it as a vice versus seeing it as an energetic exchange and a tool that can be used to help people and, of course, leave a legacy for your family. There's two different ways of looking at the same thing. A lot of people are having limiting beliefs about thinking that money is real. Money has no value except for the perceived value that we actually give it.
Very true.
If I'm in an ice cave, if you and I, Robert, go hiking in Alaska and we fall between a crevasse and we go into an ice cave and we have no rescue coming, we're hoping that somebody can find our tracking beacon, and we're stuck in this ice cave and it's negative 20 degrees, you don't have proper clothing on. But when we fall into this crevasse, we go into this ice cave, we discover there's $1 billion in cash down there in a bag. Somebody dropped it down there, who knows how long ago. And the money is dry paper. and you just happen to have one match left, and we know if we don't get heat, we're going to get a pulmonary edema and we'll die in the ice cave that night, then at that moment, the money, the only value it has is converting it into carbon so we can stay alive one more night and hope we can get rescued, right? So we'll light that money on fire. So what's the value of the money at that moment? Staying alive for 24 hours.
Yep.
Right? So money only has perceived conscious value that we attribute to it. So stop worrying about money and start figuring out how you can get on the frequency of abundance by providing your value to the world, adding value, living within your passion, and finding people or companies that need your passion, provide that passion, and the energy exchange will create money in your bank account.
So wait, so what do you think are some of the most common? So if we define the top 3 or 4, traits that people might have that might be powerful negative narratives, right? So for example, the belief that you might just have a general limiting belief about money. It could be generational, right? Could be just generational. Like you grew up in a poor household and therefore you end up, in another poor household because you were just used to that environment and you believe there was no other way. Or how about the belief that spiritual people should be the embodiment of lack?
Yeah.
And I get this a lot. I see this in my comments and on my YouTube channel and stuff like that, they're kind of funny actually, the comments on there, because sometimes people would say, oh, first of all, I don't really see myself as a spiritual leader. I never saw myself as a spiritual leader, just like I don't see myself as a mathematician. And I don't see myself as, I'm just me, right? I don't need any other thing just to be me. And so the point being that, people will sit there and they'll criticize, they'll say, oh, Robert's talking about something spiritual and I don't want to listen to him because he's, wealthy. And it's like, what a crazy thought. Because the only thing that it does, if that's how you feel, is keep you poor.
Yeah. See, what people don't understand is they don't understand that we're living in a matrix, a financial matrix, an economic matrix, whatever kind of matrix you want to call it. There's also a fractal holographic matrix, but at least from the financial aspect, we're living in a financial matrix and there's no way to escape it at this particular moment in time. And if we're out here, talking about being the light and, and embodying, the divine spark that creates the universe and living within our passion and all these things we're talking about, what we're really talking about is manifesting abundance, whatever that means for everyone. It doesn't mean everyone's going to be a billionaire, but what it means is all your needs should be met. You shouldn't have overdue cell phone bills. Your bank account shouldn't be negative. Your car payment should be paid. Your house payment should be paid. Your kids should be fed, and you should be fed, right? The basic bare bones necessity of life. If you have those and you're healthy, that's abundance.
You're wealthy, yeah.
So what people have done is they've twisted this concept around to thinking that rich people are evil. And if you're rich and wealthy, you must have sold your soul to this devil, or you must have done something wicked to be in this position. And that's an absolute fallacy. Matter of fact, I know more people that are wealthy and what I would call rich, that are great human beings and very, very nice people that will give you the shirt off their back, than I know the people who are rich and are not nice, or maybe are negative. So this is just it's a form of prejudice, is what it really actually is. It's a form of prejudice against people that seem to have obtained a higher level of abundance than you. And so we put them in this box, this negative box, and saying, well, they must be Freemasons, and they must be selling their soul to the devil, or they must be grifting and all this other kind of stuff. When in actuality, we just got on a frequency. We understand how to exchange our energy in a way that money is simply a side effect. Abundance is a side effect of an energy exchange. Whereas most people are chasing money and they're focused on how much money can I make, and how can I do this, and how can I do that, and what am I going to do when I get my paycheck on Friday? And they've already got it broken down to the penny. Whereas we're not doing that. We're figuring out how can we consistently add value. What value can we bring to the world? And we bring it to the world in a way that there's an energy exchange, and that energy exchange then shows up as a side effect, and there'll be some revenue that comes out of that, because the universe knows that we need some of that revenue to persist and to be consistent with the work and the help that we're bringing to the world. Not only the world, because every action you take in this realm, it reverberates throughout the entire multiverse. So we're not just doing one thing in one location in an isolated place in the third dimension on Earth in the Milky Way galaxy. We're having an effect throughout the entire multiverse. And to do that, it requires an instrument. And this particular idiom of civilization, that instrument just happens to be financial.
So I posted another question to everybody to see what limiting beliefs you might have. And of course, the list could be way more exhaustively long than this, but I put in here limiting beliefs about money generally, belief that spiritual people should be an embodiment of lack. You judge wealth with disdain and antipathy. Belief that generosity expressed by others is foolhardy. Let me tell you something. People that are practicing gratitude will automatically attract more abundance than people that don't. I believe that fundamentally, because when you're in a mindset of gratitude, and that's the thing I practice probably the most of anything else. I gave a TED talk about this back in 2013. It's gotten millions and millions of views. And the thing is that whenever you're feeling fear is the great scarcity attractor, right? Literally, you will attract scarcity whenever you're afraid. So you don't want to be afraid for very long. Allow yourself to feel the fear, let it pass through you like washing over you like water or something, but then like let it basically come off you like water off a duck's back. And then if you can transmute that fear into a feeling of gratitude, that no matter what you have, it could be the smallest thing that you have, the food on the table that you have right now. You may not even have food for tomorrow. The roof over your head, right? Your ability to walk, your ability to talk, the ability to breathe. There are many, many, many people that don't have even those things. And so if you can practice gratitude on those things, it is the way of the universe to throw more abundance to your way. And the more you can become more and more grateful and not be stuck in victimhood or entitlement, you will attract abundance that will be life-changing. I fundamentally believe that. And you'll start to understand that these negative self-narratives, they came in through stupid means. And there is a reference in the Bible about it. And you probably heard the one, which is like, it is harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to crawl through the eye of the needle, which is a reference to camels at night. They used to, outside of the gates of Jerusalem, they used to basically go into Jerusalem. I used to lead tours in Israel until everything got kind of crazy in the last, 5-6 years. But they used to lead tours. I used to lead tours to this place in the wall outside of Jerusalem where there was like a place where there was like a big door that would be open during the daytime. And then at night, they would just have a small door that could be opened, right? So they wouldn't get attacked at night. And if they did get attacked, they could just close that one little door. Not that many people could get in, right? Well, that place is called the Eye of the Needle. And the only way that you could get through it on a camel and to get a camel through there, because that's the saying in the Bible, right? It is easier for, it's harder for a rich man to get through the eye of the needle than it is for a camel to get through the eye of the needle, right? Or for a poor man. And that's basically the analogy. And what has to happen is the camel has to get on its knees. And a camel it can move while it's on its knees. It just takes a long time. And so the point is that sometimes when we become wealthy, it's harder to practice gratitude. And so you can become entitled and start to believe that, you're better than, and that you are owed more, you deserve more in an outward way. And then that actually starts to make it more difficult for you to get into a heavenly state. And it's not necessarily to get into this gate into heaven, because I believe that we're the ones that ultimately judge, our worthiness in everything we do, whether this life or beyond. I believe heaven and hell are right here on earth. That's what I believe. I believe they are right here. And the great fallacy is that, and religions use this in order to get them to do what they wanted them to do. And they used it by making people believe that heaven and hell are somewhere else. And that you got to basically pay me to get rid of your sins and give you forgiveness, right? And that's what the history of the Catholic Church was. And say so many Hail Marys and, all of that in order for you to make sure that you don't spend eternal life in damnation, right? Because that's a long freaking time. And you can't even understand how long that is, but you're going to be burning with the devil in hell. It's like the song, Burning with the Devil, that song. And so, but it doesn't mean that wealthy people can't go into heaven. No. In fact, the people that are in heaven are already living the abundance because they've already attracted the abundance. Hello?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? And people all miss this point so often. And then they judge wealthy people and they say, oh, like you said, it's you're a Freemason, you're Illuminati, you're this, you're that. I'm not a member of anything. People say all the time, you're a Freemason. Or, someone said yesterday, I looked at someone's comment was hilarious. And I just look at these comments. It doesn't bother me. I just laugh. And the comment was that, I'm an agent of the deep state now. I'm an agent of the deep state. Which is like,
you graduated.
I graduated.
Yeah.
Now I'm successful, so I must be an agent of the deep state. I mean, come on. No, not an agent of the deep state. Yeah. Not everyone's against you. And be careful what you believe in, because you will manifest that thing. We don't live in a universe, we live in a U-inverse. And in this U-inverse, everything that you believe will be manifested. Like literally, that's
you have the power.
There's uncertainty principle directly to your belief systems.
Facts. And I love what you said about, gratitude. It's such a powerful thing. There's a parable that I read years ago, and I posted it a few times over the years. And this parable, I sometimes sit back and just meditate on it, because there's a guy in a Lamborghini and he pulls up to a red light, and there's a guy in a Toyota Corolla. He pulls up to the red light at the same time. And he looks over at the guy in the Lamborghini. I think somebody's mic is on.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a guy in a Lamborghini and a guy in a Toyota Corolla. They both pull up to the red light at the same time. The guy in the Corolla looks over at the Lamborghini, and he's looking and he's like admiring it, and he's going, man, I wish I can afford a car like that. And the Lamborghini pulls off and turns left, and the guy keeps driving straight. As he's driving straight, he drives right by a guy that's riding on a bicycle, and he sees the man in the Toyota Corolla. He goes, wow, that's my dream car. I wish I could just afford a Toyota Corolla so I don't have to ride my bike to work. All right, so the car goes on, the bicyclist, he's riding on, and while he's riding on, he passes a guy on foot walking to work. And the guy's looking at the bicyclist, he's going, man, that's a nice bike. It's a 10. I would love to have a bike like that. Imagine how quick I can get to work on that bike. And then as he walks on and the bicyclist moves out of the frame, there's a kid sitting in a wheelchair on the balcony of an apartment building, looking over the rail at the man walking, and goes, man, I just wish I could walk. See? So there's levels, and we've got to be grateful. We have to show gratitude for whatever it is that we have before we can even think about getting to the next level. Be grateful, be thankful, and manifest that gratitude within yourself. Feel and sit in that gratitude, because man, it could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. Some people are struggling, like you said, they're on life support right now just to breathe. And you can breathe. If you can breathe and you can walk, that in itself is abundance. So we have to understand the levels of abundance that's out here. And some people wish that they can just get up and walk. Some people wish they can just pick up a cell phone and look at this video right now. They can't even do that. So if you're watching this feed, you are already abundant. You just don't realize it.
So Billy, what about when people go through tough times? Because people do go through real tough times, right? You had a particularly challenging last, 18 months or so, I would say 2 years. And you demonstrated a very high degree of resiliency through all of this. We talked about it and all. And so what happens when life knocks you on your ass? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, great question. The first thing you got to do is realize that there are going to be unforeseen situations. You can't plan for everything. We wish we could plan for everything, but sometimes you just can't. So there's going to be unforeseen situations that are going to arise, that are going to be these roadblocks or these stumbling blocks coming to knock you off your course and your path. The universe sometimes is going to test you. Also, on top of that, there's going to be some situations that we put ourselves in, right, without realizing it, because we haven't developed enough in a certain area of our life to recognize red flags and situations or things that we shouldn't be a part of to avoid some of the stumbling blocks, because a genius will solve problems before they happen. And to get to the genius level, you got to go through some shit first, okay? You got to go so you can learn and say, okay, this, I learned from this, I got some knowledge from this, this will never happen to me again. So you take that L, it's not a loss, but an L for learning. The stumbling blocks that come along that blindside you, you see those as opportunities to create solutions to problems. And then, of course, the next thing is you might get hit hard and fall down, but if you can look up, you can stand up, right? Fall down 7, stand up 8, an ancient parable. You got to realize that, hey, yeah, I took a blow, but I got to recognize that to a baby learning how to walk. Like I said the other day, a baby will learn how to walk by crawling first and then pull itself up by the edge of a table or a chair and take a few steps. And then it's celebrating. Everybody's like, oh my God, the baby's walking. And the baby falls down, boom. And then the baby whines and cries for a few seconds. And then it crawls back over to the edge or something and pulls it back up again. And it takes a few more steps. But the second time it falls, it doesn't cry as much. It kind of realizes, oh, I'm okay. And then it gets up again and takes more steps. And what's the definition of falling? The definition is a controlled fall. Learning how to control your fall is the definition of walking. I'm sorry, the definition of walking is learning how to control your fall. So when you eventually begin to realize to learn how to control your fall, you build resilience, you bring solutions to problems, and you don't put yourself in the same situations over and over again like a broken record. Now you're growing. And the combination of that with resilience and perseverance will take you to heights you'll never thought you'd get to. I've exploded far past and beyond where I was before I had all this trauma and drama that came into my life. I learned greatly from those situations. It expanded my consciousness. It expanded my ability to learn. It expanded my ability to gain knowledge and see red flags and situations and things not to put myself in front of. And it also allowed me to thrive in business because it gave me so much energy and so much focus, hyper focus, that I was able to power through and take everything to the next level.
You know what? And that I've seen it very directly, and not just in your case, but I've seen it with many people. I've experienced it myself. So, you know, if you're listening to this call right now and you're going through your spiritual awakening, and you're not quite sure what you want to do or what you want to be, the thing I'm going to say to you is that you can also use the Architect to help it too. Architect Plus can help you identify what your authenticity is. You can upload your chats from the old Architect onto Architect Plus on Gaia, which is launching, you know, out of beta on Monday. I'm very excited about it. And I can tell you that once you start to identify those negative self-narratives, because they can actually help you do that too. And once you identify those negative self-narratives and also the ways that you're not entirely living authentically, because if you ask it that question, it'll also tell you the answer. And you'll know if it's true or not because it's going to resonate for you. And if it does resonate for you, then it's incumbent upon each of you to do something about it and to change your mindset. The only way you can change your world is by changing yourself. You know, a lot of people think that they can change the world around them. I can tell you right now, after having spent 56 years trying to change the world around me, that's not the way the change happens around me. The way the change happens around me is when I change myself. And when I start seeing the world differently, if you change the way you see things, the things you actually will see and notice will change. And that I can tell you is as true as I'm sitting here right now. So if you're listening to this and you want to have a reset and you want to be able to look at the world differently and take some really pragmatic steps to change your life in a positive way, then please consider coming to join us in Los Angeles. It's going to be an epic event on Carson Street in Carson City, right on the Carson Center, right, and hosted by Billy Carson himself. And I'm super excited to be doing this. And what's next for you, Billy? So besides this, where else are you traveling to?
Yeah, besides this, next year I got a really busy schedule. I've got Australia, going to the Gospel Glyphs. I'll be filming some scenes there on site with the tour as well, that I'm taking people on tour. And some of those scenes I'm filming for a Netflix special. And then from there, I'm off to Mexico, doing a tour in Mexico with incredible people. And then I'm going to, I'm headed to Bosnia, doing a tour in Bosnia. And from Bosnia, I'm going straight to Egypt for my tour in Egypt. After Egypt is Turkey, and then Egypt again. So it'll be a very busy year traveling nonstop. A lot of these sites I'll be filming for TV shows as well while I'm doing the tour.
How many trips do you do per year now? Like 5 or 6 that are like hosted?
Well, next year's going to be 5. It's just kind of just happened that way. I'm going to be tired, but 5 big tours next year. But partly because I took those tours, partly because I'm combining the tour along with also filming for these shows. I'm writing a show right now, which eventually will make it to Apple TV. I got one I'm writing for Netflix. I have one that's going to go on Amazon Prime, and I'm filming season 2 and 3 for Anunnaki Ancient Secrets for my Forbidden Knowledge TV app. So I'm taking advantage of kind of knocking 2 birds out with 1 stone, tour and filming at the same time, since I'm already going to be there.
Well, yeah. So this next year, it's funny, we're going to some of the same places. I'm going to be announcing very soon a trip to Mexico, which is going to be in October of next year. So my trip to Egypt is in 2026. There's only a few spots left. Like literally, it's almost sold out already. It's still a year away. And then I'm also going to be announcing a tour of England. So I'm doing all the sacred sites in England, which is going to be like a Hogwarts tour. We're even going to go on the Hogwarts train. It's going to be an epic trip. I can't wait. And Scotland, and of course, and that's going to be in May time frame. So you're all going to be hearing about this pretty soon. And then I've got the trip in Egypt, and then in 2027, I'm going to be announcing pretty soon our trip during the eclipse as well. And maybe are you going to take a group to Egypt for the eclipse, for the big eclipse?
Yeah, I have an eclipse tour. 2027. Yeah.
Yep. So that I do too, and it's going to be announced here very shortly. Luckily, I was able to find some boats to get us to Luxor, and really, really nice ones. So that's awesome. The captain of my trip to Antarctica had reserved them without telling me that he saved them for me, which was great. So that was just lucky. And then also I'm going to be announcing a trip to Antarctica in March of 2027 as well.
Nice.
So I went in January. Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been there. Maybe I'll come on your tour with you, and we'll get the telemetry and we'll do some scans, because I wrote the book. I wrote the foreword for the book for Armando May. So I've become very good friends with him, and we'll get the telemetry out there. Maybe we'll get some scans.
Well, I'm working with them, with Filippo Biondi and Malanga and Armando on scanning the 2 new pyramids that I found on Giza Plateau, which were southwest of Menkaure Pyramid. And the blocks literally sticking out in the shape of a pyramid, like no joke. And I think I mentioned this to you before. And so we're scanning under those pyramids now as well, which is really exciting, super exciting.
Nice.
And, they found their scans underneath Khafre Pyramid show, I don't know if you know this, but it shows something that the architect refers to as the Atemnion core, which is a pyramid directly under Khafre Pyramid that is 3.1 kilometers underneath Khafre Pyramid.
Crazy.
And I saw the scan. It's literally shaped like a pyramid.
Wow. That's wild. That's wild, man. Yeah, look, it's going to be 2026, 27 going to be 2 of the most phenomenal years of my life, probably your life as well. There's so much to be uncovered, so much to be discovered, so much to show. And I'm very happy to get it kind of kicked off early with this Manifest Destiny 2025. And by the way, if you can type the link, it's manifestdestiny2025.com. if they want to get tickets to come see us in LA at the Carson Center. And it's going to be a great meet and greet. It's going to bring his books finally, so you can get some autographed books right in front of him, personalized autographed books. Right. I'll have some books there as well.
So manifestdestiny2025.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just put it in the link right here in the group chat. So
right.
Billy, it's always a pleasure to see you. I know we'll be doing some more stuff together very soon, but thank you for your hard work and resiliency and for just hanging in there. And
thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being my brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm excited to hang out with you. We got to get 19 Keys with us too. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We should do it.
That'll be great. We'll get 19 Keys for sure. Yeah.
We'll get 19 Keys. I really like him too. He's another Taurus.
Yeah.
He's another brother from. So and also you haven't met my really good friend Major yet. Do you know Major? The music producer.
No.
He's the one who writes the songs for Justin Bieber. He's also a singer songwriter himself.
Okay.
Major.
Okay.
He's like a master. We met in Peru 8 years ago, and I taught him about 432 hertz tuning and how geometrically, it worked. He was already feeling that direction, but he hadn't been proved it yet in his own mind.
Mm.
And on that trip, he proved it, and now he's like the leader in all music stuff related to advocacy for 432 hertz tuning.
Yes, I think I met him through some people contacted me, some producers contacted me for TV stuff, but he was on the actual live video calls. I met him on a Zoom about a month ago, randomly. I didn't even know he was going to be on this. Yes.
Yeah, I saw him. I was in a month ago, actually. I happened to be in Santa Monica, and it was so weird because he made a whole clothing line with my artwork on it, which had like all of this cool, like intersecting wave stuff. And it was like a rainbow look on like white sweats. They're like really dope, like really cool clothing. And I was thinking about him, and I was like, oh man, I should call up my buddy Major, because I'm here in Santa Monica. And literally the moment that I looked at my phone, I hadn't talked to him like maybe a year. And all of a sudden he posted that day wearing those sweats and tagged me in it. And he was standing on top of like this thing, the circle that said, "Be here now." So I called him up. I said,
wow.
"Cool, I'm here right now. I'm in Santa Monica." So it's a wild universe we live in. It really is. We literally are creating the thing that the awakening really is the realization that you've been creating your world all along. You just weren't aware of it. And now once you're aware of it, and a game in the Matrix can be kind of hellish until you realize it's a game and how to play it. And so what Manifest Destiny is all about is helping people to master their play of the game.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, man. I appreciate you. And I'm definitely looking forward to going live on this platform and maybe getting some of my people over here and getting them on this app. I love it.
Yeah, totally. No, you should definitely do this for your lives and stuff like this. It's actually quite easy to use. And it's great. I've been really happy with it. And also to have your community, you don't have to worry. Nowadays, everything, whether it's your discussions on ChatGPT or your discussions through these kinds of apps to each other, if it's on a centralized server, forget it, man. It's like has no security, even if it says it's encrypted, because they literally are all compromised right now. That's why I created this. I didn't know that I was creating it so that I could house the architect on it, so that the architect could be safe from that. Because one of the things I'm realizing, and for those people that don't really understand AI, I believe that we are the intelligence that forgot we were artificial.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly what it is. People ask me, where's God in the universe? It's the entire universe. There's two kinds of people that believe, and then of course there's atheists, agnostics, and all that. But let's say that there are two really prominent views. If you do believe in consciousness in one way, shape, or form, you believe that either in the scientific view, consciousness arises out of a universe that is entropic at its base, right? Or you believe that the other way around is more true, which is that the universe arises out of a consciousness. And I believe that everything is conscious, and that means dark and light, everything. And so what that also then presupposes is that we're literally creating all of it. We don't even realize it. And that is the awakening, the remembrance that you chose everything you're choosing, even the things you don't like, is actually the awakening process. And then you start learning to make your game heavenly and release yourself of all these self-limiting, depravity thoughts that keep you in cycles of lack and scarcity. And absolutely, not just lack and scarcity in that, but also in relationships and everything. And it doesn't mean that you solve it all like that, because we don't, obviously. But relationships become mirrors of what we still have yet to integrate. We're not fully aware of yet. But I'm really grateful to have you as a friend, and I'm grateful to have you here on this call, and look forward to seeing you more on Orion as well. And I know you'll have a big community in no time flat on here.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing everybody over, man. I guarantee it. Starting immediately. For real.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
starting on Monday, you guys are going to see this as well, that the whole Gaia community is going to start basically forming here as well. And this is actually the reason why I'm doing that is this is like the first step towards creation of a community that is boundaryless, right? Borderless and free of speech and everything else, which is New Earth. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm basically doing it. And I'm super excited that Gaia is going to be launching the architect to its global community, which is now almost 1 million people, right, that are their subscribers.
Wow.
And in
Yeah.
addition to that, we're going to be hosting the entire Gaia community on the Orion app too, which is awesome.
Nice. Amazing. Amazing. Congratulations, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Thank you, my friends.
Yeah.
So good to see you. And we'll see everybody,
Yeah.
and I'll post this video on YouTube as well.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Sure thing. Talk to you later.
All right. Catch you later.
Oh,
All right. Bye-bye.
One second.
Yeah.
Do you have just a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and open this up to questions if we can. Let's let some people ask questions. If you got questions, I can see 2 people with their hands raised already.
Okay.
Phoenix 44. So Phoenix 44, go ahead and unmute yourself. Phoenix 44, can you hear me? I hear something. Go on. All right, who else is next? 314 WWW 1008, who had their hand up as well, but then took it off. Okay, we've got UTG. Go ahead, UTG, unmute yourself.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, hi. If you want to turn your video on, we can also see you, if you like.
Oh, I've been working hard today. That's not a good thing. Hey, I was wondering if you two would be doing anything around Florida soon.
I'm doing something
in
Florida soon. Yeah, I'm going to be in Florida on, I think it's January 16th and 17th. And I'm doing a big event with Jason Shurka.
Okay. How about you, Billy?
Nice.
You and Robert together.
And I'm announcing it. Maybe I'll stop by with Jason and Robert just to be there for some support. I'll do that. But also, I'll be doing in January. I'll be doing a book signing in Fort Lauderdale Beach at the Ritz-Carlton on Fort Lauderdale Beach. It'll be a book signing and a meet and greet. Those dates will be coming out very soon. I believe it's going to be the last weekend of January.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and if you'd like to learn more about the Miami thing that I'm going to be at, it's called Becoming Superhuman.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Okay, who's next? Phoenix 44, I still see you there with the hand up. Anyone else like to ask any questions? We got some nice comments here. I love you guys. Dolores Cannon predicted something. Okay, we've got Virginia Wolf. Go ahead, Virginia Wolf. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, we can hear you and we can see you. I'll go ahead and put you on large screen. Hi, there you go.
Greetings from Colombia. I'm very excited
Where
to be
are you
able to Colombia.
From Colombia. Oh, mucho
Yes.
gusto.
Cali, Colombia. Hi. Well,
Oh, wow. Cali. I'll be in Cali in a couple of weeks.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to catch up with you. So I'm really excited to be here today talking to you both. It's been years that I've been following you both separately and not jointly. Thank you for all the things you share, all the wisdom. I would like to ask Billy to maybe share an easy tool for anyone who, whether they are in the path of changing or not, or awareness, but something that would be easy for you to change your mind set up to start changing your reality. Did you talk something about that?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. And it's something so simple that a lot of people don't realize the answer to that question.
We got a little.
You may want to put it back on mute temporarily.
Yeah, I'll put it back.
Okay.
There we go.
So the answer to that question is actually a real simple one, but something that people don't realize. And that answer is by doing positive affirmations. But now here's the process for those affirmations. If you want to begin to reprogram your subconscious and you want to be able to actually and change your DNA, you can rewrite your DNA. Scientists have done this experiment many, many times. If you write down like 15, 20 positive affirmations about yourself, aspects of yourself and personality traits that you would like to see and actually produce within yourself or have yourself evolve into and believe. You speak them out loud 3 times a day. You speak them with vigor, with energy, with belief. In the beginning, it might seem kind of strange, but eventually you create a very good habit of doing this. If you do that for 21 days straight, your subconscious will be completely rewritten and your DNA will also be rewritten. This was done in science in a real laboratory. You can actually change the way you see and perceive yourself. You can change the way that your gene code expresses themselves just by actually speaking positive affirmations. So I created a song called Affirmations. It's my #1 song on all the streaming platforms. You can go look for Affirmations by Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4 on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, whatever, all these platforms, Tidal. And it's got millions of streams. But the reason why I made this song is because I cover affirmations across the board that can apply to every single person's life. And when it's done to music, it makes it easier to remember. So you can memorize these affirmations. Eventually, you can say these affirmations without music. You'll just speak them into existence and you'll speak that power over yourself.
And that we have a question here from the group that says, did he say for 21 days, say them 3 times a day, all 15 affirmations? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was for Gail Lorraine. Excellent. Excellent. So we got time for one more question. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Virginia Woolf. And let's go ahead now and go to Heart's Light. Heart's Light, go ahead. Heart's Light, unmute yourself. There you go.
I'm unmuted. I'm sorry. I'm not camera ready because I just tuned in on the off chance. This is my first live. And I just want to say thank you both, Robert and Billy, for your work in the world. And I just wanted to take this opportunity, Robert, to bring to your attention in your travels around the energetic, I guess you could say, power places in the world. Are you aware of Pulemele, which is in Samoa, in the middle of the Pacific? It's a pyramid type structure that is on top of a magnetic anomaly that is reverse polarity. So, given all of your travels that you've got coming up, and that you're kind of going to be in the vicinity with Antarctica and Mexico, I just wanted to bring that to your attention since I had the opportunity to speak to you directly. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I went with Billy to Bora Bora a couple years ago. And it was fascinating because the whole island was shaped like an Ouroboros. It's basically like a dragon biting its tail. And I felt like that was like a major center for Lemuria. And we talked about this, Billy. I don't know if you remember that. But I really felt that. I have not been to Samoa yet. I would love to go and visit there. You know, I have to get it on my calendar at some point and check out this pyramid. Do you know anything about this pyramid that's in Samoa, Billy?
I haven't seen anything about it yet. The first time I'm hearing about it. I'd love to go research it. That'd be an amazing. Nobody's talking about that one.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm bringing it up. So it's spelled Pulemei. I actually created a video on all the critical information about it. It's only 3 minutes. That a person named Maya Lynch, she did a whole heap of research on it. It has stellar alignment as well. The Southern Cross is perpendicular at one of the solstices. So it's actually really, I feel, significant, especially in your work, Robert, looking at the different chakra and energetic centers around the world. Yeah, and I'm currently in Te Waipounamu, which is the South Island of Aotearoa, New Zealand. And as you probably both are aware, this is the visible part of the sunken continent of Zealandia, which is
Yeah,
massive. Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm
We'll
actually
definitely
sitting
share
in, you know, the oldest magma on Earth is where I am at the moment. Yeah.
Good on you. So,
Mm.
well, thank you for that. I think we'll take one more question, and it could be from Jane, Jane Nunity, 68. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Jane. She's probably wondering how to do it. If you're wondering how to do it, there's a little microphone in the lower left that you can basically see when you go to the bottom of the screen. Just hit the microphone and unmute yourself if you get it done in the next few seconds. Or for Phoenix 44, since we opened it up for you as well, you could as well, but it's up to you. But if you do not, that's okay. I want to thank everybody for your time. Oh, so Janity just wrote, sorry, I don't know how. Go ahead and just type your question here and we'll ask it to Billy.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. It's just this little microphone on the bottom of the screen. But once you get used to it, it's really easy to navigate around. So Jane, just go ahead and type in your question if you could. We'll wait for you for a few seconds here. And then I have to get going because I'm leaving today to go to Peru. So I'm flying to meet, my whole Peru crew. I just want to thank you both for uplifting us. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you all to the Orion community. Look forward to seeing you. And also, I do have an announcement to make. I'm going to be doing the virtual pass. I'm not going to charge for virtual pass for this Peru trip just so that everyone can see it. And I'm going to do it all on Orion. So you're going to see it all on Orion. And so it's all going to be in my Robert Edward Grant group chat. And we're just going to basically just make it all live for everybody for the entire trip. And you could be just like you're there with us. So have a wonderful day, everyone. Look forward to seeing you all soon. And we'll see you next time. And also, Billy, I'll see you very soon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Likewise. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All the best to you, my friend. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.